Paul, what do I do if I have a difficult block? Like, it might be in an awesome location, but it's, you know, really tricky because it's either small or access is bad or the slope is huge or there's limestone everywhere or something like that. How do you approach that? What do you do to overcome those challenges?
Now, there's always a way. I think good architecture responds to the site. So if you've got a difficult site and you've got to work with that difficult site to create the architecture. We've got a model in front of us of a difficult site. It was a site on a cliff overlooking the river. A lot of people had just dismissed the site, didn't want it. My clients bought it. So the issues were that fact that it was limestone. So the ground was solid limestone. We had to build into the limestone. The council gave us some tough height restrictions. A lot of the neighbours didn't want their views lost, so we had to work with all those restrictions, right? And it wasn't, in its footprint, it wasn't necessarily a very big site. So we built it into the hill over 3 levels. It's literally on a cliff. Right, we needed a tower crane to build it, and they wanted a swimming pool. We couldn't build it into the ground. There's no ground anyway, so we built the swimming pool into the upper level. So there's a skylight over the pool, and the pool's on the upper level, and it's a wonderful water feature that you can see from all around that living space. So I think what we've tried to do is, as best we can, respond to that site and all those restrictions we were given, like height limits and not taking anyone's view and all those kind of things. But there's always a way to work with every site, and in the end, it looks like it should be there. It looks like the only thing that should be on that site.
So, Paul, you mentioned this particular house had some challenges, such as it was on a cliff and there was height restrictions. What other challenges or difficult blocks have you come across?
So I've come across, I've had other sites that are, so one of the biggest issues are things like the slope of the site, and it's difficult to do a flat house on a you know, that's why you don't get project homes on sloping sites.
So that means like a multi-storey house, then maybe something like this.
Or you build it into the site, you know, so water tables, and you've got to be aware, there's a lot of information you need to know about a site before you start. There's also sites that have a specific view. You know, and a lot of things in Western Australia, in Perth, have a view to the west, which is not always the best way to orientate the house, but you want to work with that. So I think good architecture responds to the site, whatever it is. You know, there's always a way to work around, you know, those difficult sites I'm saying are things like sloping site, sometimes the actual soil conditions. So the house we're mentioning here was built on limestone. Difficult to sort of, we couldn't even put soak wells into the site, you know, or a swimming pool. So the soil conditions, the slope of the site, the size of the site, you get some odd shape, very, very odd shaped sites, and then you've got to work with all the setbacks and height restrictions that you're given, you know, from local government and the art codes. But there's always a way, and I think the sites that have been, those difficult sites that have been done well, are brilliant. That's some of the best architecture, right? Architecture responds to the site, and that's why you need a good experienced architect will make a massive difference to those particular sites. You know, you can't just drop a project home that needs a flat site on one of those sites. It's got to be built to that site, and sometimes that means multi-levels or building into it, or the shape of the roof or the shape of the building might have to suit that particular site.
So if I'm driving down the street in my favourite suburb and I spot a block of land that everyone else has passed over because it's difficult and it's going for a good price, I shouldn't be scared of it? You think there's always a solution?
There's always a solution. Well, there's usually a solution, but it just requires a skilled architect to help you with that. And it's a great challenge. As an architect, we go, you know, we like those sort of challenges.